All right, so Jason, what's wrong with this old school model that you're talking about?
That's a good question. Well, really, the way we see it, there's really three issues at play here, I think. And in order to stay competitive, the first step, really, folks, you'll see some seat-based vendors and service providers are really starting with a very low initial per seat, right? Trying to get you in the door, and then they line out you to death, really, with additional hidden fees and surcharges. The second is usage-based, right? So the industry has shifted again towards usage. Just look at any of the cloud providers out in the market today. You'll see, Amazon or Microsoft. They all charge based on CPU utilization, bandwidth consumed. It's a usage-based model, and that's what's really surrounding the unified communication space. If you only have, as an example, 10% of your employees are big users of unified communications, but 90% of them aren't, and maybe they make one phone call a day. Should you still pay full price for 100% of your employees? And that's really what this model breaks down is why are we paying for seats? I was actually at a conference, one of the unified communications conferences a couple of weeks ago, and one of the keynote speakers got up and really did get into, why are we still paying for seats? And the noise in the audience, at the audience level, really was deafening with people asking the same question. So this usage-based, this shift to usage-based is certainly, one of the biggest things and driving forces out there. And then I think the third sort of paradigm shift is, the biggest issue is probably about 80% of the global workforce actually is deskless. They don't have a desk. So how do you charge seat-based pricing if 80% of the workforce doesn't actually have a seat? Industries such as construction, manufacturing, agriculture, whatever it is, you got 2.7 billion workers out there who actually don't have a desk. And such, how do you charge from a seat price standpoint? Then add to that you've got millennials entering the workforce, or actually, soon will be the majority of the workforce. Couple that with the spending that goes on these deskless workers. I saw a stat where it was like 1% of investment of VC investment is going into 80%, where 80% of the workforce is. There's a huge disparity there between both of those numbers, and I think that's probably one of the big things. So across those three issues, that's the biggest issue or biggest problem with the old school pricing model.